Welcome into Hawk Talk, ladies and gentlemen. Alongside Jack Keffer, I'm Gabe Sustick. Hyannis is not able to get their fifth straight win as they fall to the Brewster Whitecaps by a score of 12-3, Jack. And today, Brewster was Brewster hitting-wise, but pitching, they came through well today against Hyannis. Only that one inning did they really score most of their runs until later on in the game, and that is how they truly won. You knew hitting was going to be their thing, but they truly stopped Hyannis today.
Yeah, and Hunter Martin was absolutely fantastic. The starting pitcher for Brewster. 5 strong innings, struck out 8 Hyannis batters, and the bullpen as well for Brewster was just on top of their game. And really, apart from that first inning where they scored 1 run and took the lead, it really wasn't much from Hyannis. They strung together a couple of hits, but the bullpen was lights out when they needed to be for Brewster.
Meanwhile, on the other end for Hyannis, the bullpen on their side, while I've been doing up to this point, struggled today. Justin Lewis returning back from a little off stint there along with Daniel Johnson. And at that point, already a sizable lead for Brewster. They were able to get 6 more runs later on in the game. So today, just not the best thing you can see from the bullpen.
Yeah, and it was a close game, a 4-2 game headed into that bottom half of the 7th inning. But Lewis just couldn't find the strike zone early on after 9 days of rest. And sometimes too much rest can be a bad thing. And then Johnson came in. He gave up a 2-run shot, but other than that, Johnson looked good. And Brewster was Brewster today. They hit the ball, and they were on top of Hyannis hitters Hyannis pitchers. And when you face the best hitting team in the league, they're going to get hits and they're going to score runs off of you. But the pitching could have been a little bit better out of the bullpen, and that bottom of the 7th inning really shot Hyannis in the leg there with the 6 runs given up to Brewster.
Meanwhile, for Hyannis, Jordan Rodgers, up from Tennessee, has done stellar for them at third base and hitting-wise. He was a part of all 3 runs that they have today, and Nicole Hansen caught up with him after the game.
I'm here with Jordan Rodgers, our Hawk Talk player of the game, and now today, not quite as much hitting as we've seen in the past, but you still got to take part in all 3 runs and had a hit for yourself. What allowed you to kind of break through that pitching that was kind of difficult for some of the other team members to break through?
Yeah, Hunter, he's a good pitcher. He had his stuff going good early, and he just kept us off balance because he was throwing all 3 pitches for strikes. And so when you got a guy like that, you got to really lock in on one pitch, and for the first few innings, we had trouble capitalizing.
And you played a lot of first base at Tennessee, but now you're kind of switching over to third. You've been at third quite a bit since you've been on the Cape. How's that adjustment been, switching sides in the field and playing a different position?
Yeah, I played third my whole life, third and short, so this season was actually a big adjustment for me, so it's almost like a coming home party for me. But yeah, I enjoy being out there on the field, and I feel comfortable over there at third base.
And you're a big presence and personality in the dugout, so we've been told. And so now that you guys are all kind of starting to form these bonds and be closer together as a team, what is it like to have those connections and those bonds?
Yeah, it doesn't really take long for my personality to come out and either get on your nerves or just kind of you got to get used to it. So yeah, as the team's getting closer and meshing, it's nice to be able to just all be ourselves and be able to play loose and have fun up here because so it's easy to forget that baseball's a fun game. So I'm enjoying my time here so far.
And we just started talking over with your fellow Tennessee players and having them on different teams and playing with Santiago on this team. What's it like coming here and having those familiar faces here on your team and on different teams?
Yeah, it's great. Me, Hunter, and Benny are rooming together next year, and we're really close to Westfall and Soto. So just having all of us up here makes it all a little easier. And we hang out on the off days and stuff. And I love those guys, and it's mutual. So it's great to play against and compete against my buddies over there.
All right, great. Thanks so much. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Nicole. Now, Jack, you got to look there for Rodgers. And we talked about during the broadcast, really, and the camaraderie you see with some of these players. I mean, Rodgers already has Benito Santiago on Hyannis, but he had to face Hunter Martin today. And here, they're actually all living together next year, which is a fabulous thing. You don't really see that a lot, but you like to see them going up against each other and, in fact, living with each other, which at this point Martin has the upper edge against them.
Yeah, and we also see that Hyannis as Drew Wharton, Alex Eubanks, and Charlie Barnes living with a guy from Chatham who also goes to Clemson. So it's just a cool little interconnected web here on Cape Cod, and you're going to make bonds other than your teammates at home, but it's just cool that Santiago and Rodgers got to face their good friend and their roommate next year in Hunter Martin.
So Hyannis now will head the next game tomorrow at home, Game 2 of the Barnstable Patriot Cup against the Cotuit Kettleers, who are struggling. 1 of 10 right now on the season. They trail the Falmouth Commodores, so might be looking at a 1-11 season. And for Hyannis, what you have to look at, 4 teams make the playoffs, and you have to stay above Cotuit. It's also for bragging rights of the Barnstable Patriot Cup, and they'll try to do that tomorrow.
Yeah, two very winnable games. One tomorrow against Cotuit, and the next one at Wareham Saturday night. And then you have Chatham Sunday coming back to Hyannis. And that will be a tight game, as they haven't seen Chatham yet this year. But it's all about getting back to 500 now. Hyannis sitting at 4-8. If they can take the two games headed into the weekend, they're going to be sitting pretty headed into the third week of Cape League play.
Hyannis will try to bounce back, get their 5th win tomorrow at McKeon Park. Game time at 6. We hope to see you there. For Jack Keffer, I'm Gabe Sustick. We'll see you then.